Good morning. Here we see the powerful damage of fire. And there we see a receding level of water in the Sea of Galilee, and you haven't seen those patches before when we were here at Teleraj. There you see Tiberias in front of us. Across from the northeast of the Sea of Galilee, or north of the Sea of Galilee, and Mount Arbel just north of there. And we see the destruction of fire. There was a terrible fire here 10 days ago, and there's some amazing phenomena as a result of the fire. Let me take you to meet some of the people. I'm not sure how much we'll do of the scriptures today, which are very beautiful, very important, very difficult. We have the jealousy inside family, envy, Moses and Aaron and Miriam. And they're not happy that Moses has the lead, even though he's a younger sibling. As Tim Gray pointed out today in his commentary, and pride often gets in the way of relationships. So here we are at this dig. We also have a storm in the sea in the Gospels, and there was quite the storm here when we do it right now, Matti. Nothing like the present moment.
Okay.
We'll do a minute. We just after walking into Matti Aviam. He is the great Galilean archaeologist who also was the first one to publish an article on Magdala. If you just turn around, we get the sun in your face. Then we get a better picture here. So Matti is a great friend for many, many years. And Matti has a nice statement to make about the impact of the fire and what it has brought a good. In Ireland, we have an expression that there's no wind so bad that it doesn't bring some good to somebody. So it here caused a lot of destruction. We'll show them the wheelbarrows afterwards that got burned. Even wheelbarrows got burned. So
Only the wheel.
Only the wheel. So yeah, but the other place looks kind of charcoal.
This is our burned container.
Wow.
Everything that was inside was burned down.
And that was just equipment, that wasn't archaeology.
All equipment. There was no archaeological finds there.
Thanks be to God.
And but then yesterday afternoon we took all our volunteers and archaeologists and went to survey the area which was on fire. It's a large area.
Which was burned.
It's burned down, and it's an opportunity that I don't think that ever any archaeologist surveyed this area. For everyone, the Beck's house was only this small plot. And therefore, we spent 2 hours walking in this burned area, coming out very, very smelly, like the potatoes from the fire, and black. But we discovered that all this area in north to the Beck's house has remains of houses that probably we're talking about the village of Bethsaida.
So it's hard for me to believe that you see, you do your survey, your archaeological survey of the ground. I did one already with you with the graves down near Magdala, just south of Magdala. And you tell me, this is like, we just burned down this bush and now we found 2,000-year-old town, or more, a further extension of it. Like, how can you make that statement?
First of all, you see remains of houses on the ground. There are cut stones.
But they could be 200 years ago.
Yes, they could be 200 years ago, but as we excavated 1 square in this area.
We were there before, yeah.
Area C.
Yes.
Yielded 30 centimeters below surface, yielded Roman houses only.
Okay.
No Ottoman, no Byzantine, no Crusader, only Roman.
Okay.
And also in the area that we surveyed yesterday, there were some areas that were clean with no vegetation, so you can pick up some pottery. All pottery were Roman. So
all the pottery you discovered yesterday are Roman periods. So that matches what you also dug up in Area C 5 years ago.
That's for us as archaeologists the way to
then let's
understand the area.
Okay, so let's make a conclusion then. What understanding do you have of Bethsaida of the Roman period, even just because of the pottery you saw over in this region here that was burned down?
Well, that's an important contribution, because before that I could only suggest that the village is not only this small area that we are digging, but much larger. Now I can prove it.
Okay.
You see the built area stretching for about an area of not those 13, 14 acres. I don't know, we have to measure it now after we took some photos. And as I can declare easily that it's all from the Roman period, even if there were some huts in the 19th century, it's all Roman according to the pottery and the checks we did at Area C. Then the conclusion is that the village town that was here was much larger than we thought before. Real measurements we'll get in a few days.
Fantastic.
Exactly what is the size.
And what
of course, we'll be able next season to dig 2 more squares in this area. If it won't be grown up again, we'll be sure.
And what's your general sense then about the Bethsaida you're excavating? Do you have any more conclusions that you're kind of sensing will be emerging?
I think that I always like to tell my audience that I came here not to find Bethsaida. I came here to do an archaeological excavation that will tell us what is in the ground of El Araj. That's a completely different approach.
Fantastic.
Don't throw the arrow and you make circles around it. Okay, I came here to check what's at Bethsaida, what at El Araj. We dug, we found Byzantine church, we found an inscription speaking about Peter. Below it we have Roman period. It's on the lake, it's a Jewish village. This is a much better candidate to be Bethsaida rather than Etel. That's a conclusion.
Okay.
Now we added to it a little bit the size of the site.
Excellent. Thank you, Marty. Thank you.
כן, זה הבור. זה הבור ההוא. המאוחר.
All the work of the archaeologists.
Morning.
Good morning. Achia, do you have a minute or you're busy?
Yeah, let's go.
So Achia he's in a certain sense, I don't know, is it proper or disrespectful to say you're the successor of Mati in responsibility for the dig here?
I'm the field archaeologist.
You're the field archaeologist. Fantastic. So you were making a few comments a little bit ago about the process of archaeology. Is there one site you'd like us to go to and you can explain about all the work that's going on? Just like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Where would you like to go? Over there?
First, let's take a look at
This is a good place.
important people of the excavation.
Okay.
Ayelet and Shoshim Ofer, who
Okay.
take care of all the registration, because archaeology is about dismantling the site, right?
Okay.
To pieces. We collect the coins, the pottery, whatever. We document walls, the floors, and sometimes we have to put it all together, understand what's happening here. So this is just documentation. So this is very, very important. Lots of lists and plans and stuff like that.
And then you do diagrams, right?
Yeah, so we have this is the top plan of the main area. This is
Topological. Top.
yeah, top above plan. So you can see the church. Here's the church, and these are mosaics, and this is the apse of the church. And
Put your finger on the apps.
here's the apse,
Okay.
right? It's,
Okay.
facing east, obviously.
Okay. Over there.
Yeah.
בסדר?
Yes.
And these are the walls of the church, pillars supporting the roof. This is the plan, and this is the real. But to keep track of what we're doing, where we're doing, where everything came from, archaeology is about context.
And you have this instrument here. What's this?
Yeah, so this is a level. It's just a leveled binoculars that you can aim at different places, and you can keep track of the height because it's not only like how the building built, but the different layers, because it's like built a layer.
How many layers do we have here?
5.
What are the layers?
Hasmonean,
That means the time of the Maccabees.
right? And then the first century,
First century, we heard of a person called Jesus, I think,
and Peter.
and Peter, and Andrew, and his brother Andrew.
Yeah, goes very well here.
Okay.
And then this Jewish village turned apparently into a Roman polis, a small polis named Julias.
You're calling it a polis, no longer a village.
Yeah, because Josephus tells us that this village of Bethsaida,
Flavius Josephus. Josephus Flavius.
it was turned into a polis by August Antipas.
Okay.
August Philippus, sorry. And it minted coins, it was a polis. It doesn't mean that it was the size of Rome, but
Right.
so we have
It has its own autonomy, then legal autonomy,
precisely. A
political
polis
autonomy.
means it's got some kind of autonomy and rights that
A village doesn't
a
have.
village doesn't have. So actually, okay, so we're at the level, so we got the Hasmonean, Maccabeans, Roman, and then we have the church and the monastery of the Christian era, and then there's the sugar factory
From the Crusaders.
period built into the church.
But they didn't know it was a...
They didn't know, they didn't care. I mean,
Okay.
they weren't archaeologists.
Right.
And then there is the modern layer of the farm that was built here about
Okay.
100 years ago, 50 years ago. But so as we peel it down, we need to know the levels.
The levels help for that.
Yeah,
Excellent.
So this is the level. We are on the way of Stephen. Is
Sorry, Stephen.
He's doing his work here.
Even Stephen does heavy lifting. Wow.
Stephen does most of the heavy lifting, hand hacking, and yeah, he is frustrated when he doesn't get to do the hacking and just cleaning.
I get paid by the barrel.
Steve, are you ready? We're going to, as soon as after you finish up, we'll have a little chat for a
We
minute
can
here.
go down to
Okay.
Stephen's area and,
Right.
and talk there. And so we are on the top of just get a notion of the questions we are confronting here. And these are the walls of the church. Mind you, when don't fall.
Yeah, it's okay.
Now this as the walls of the church, but these don't have an entrance. And it's a huge question, why?
Uh-huh.
This is the west side of the church, and the west side should have usually 3 entrances.
Yes.
I would do for even one, but there is none.
Yes.
No entrance whatsoever for the church. But this is the second stage of the church.
Mm-hmm.
On the first stage of the church, there were some openings which were blocked by this. So actually, they replaced the walls. Why would you replace all the or half of the walls of the church? And now what we're trying to do is like go beneath the floor of the church, first into the Roman period, and secondly to see how the second stage church walls relate to the first stage.
Fantastic.
And try to understand why did we replace the walls and when did we replace the walls and how did it look? Because at the moment this huge question of ceiling at the church doesn't make sense. That's
The sealing of the walls, the closing of the walls.
closing of the walls and
Right.
no entry to a church.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Excellent. Thank you. And in one last little detail, you mentioned this square over here is being dug by Koreans, right?
No, Chinese.
Chinese, sorry, Chinese.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, Hong
Guys
Kong.
from Hong Kong.
Okay. We won't go over there, Aki, we just because it's getting long now.
Yeah.
But just to get the idea. And then over here you said there was another square and this is being done by
Russian new immigrants, Israelis.
Jewish people.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
And they've come from Russia to live in Israel.
in Israel.
Yes.
They live here a few years, and they are some of them are archaeologists, and we are very good workers. Very
Fantastic.
happy to have them.
Excellent.
And of course, we got the guys from the United States.
Right. Excellent.
And
We are
I
happy.
hope we'll have a season next October.
Very good.
And I hope that we'll have more people coming next year with us.
Excellent, Achia. We might get back to you for Instagram as well. And now we have Steve right here. That's perfect timing after you bring in those sandbags. Why do you use sandbags in archaeology?
Around the edges so that it, otherwise people are standing there along the edges.
And it breaks in.
It will breaks
down.
down and goes over. We'd already put down some to protect the mosaics.
I'm going to embarrass Steve because Achie already talked about the area that you're digging. So I'm going to embarrass you with another question.
You can't embarrass me.
Maybe. I'll try. Steve is from New York, right?
Yes.
And you're a professor at Naya College before?
No longer. No longer.
I understand that, yeah.
I'm working at a small college called Pillar College
In Newark.
Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I'm the Dean of Religious Studies. I oversee a dual-track program, one for evangelical Christians, the other track for Orthodox Jews.
Wow.
Who are studying, and they needed somebody who could, in a sense, straddle both worlds and oversee both from an academic standpoint, language standpoint, because a lot of the work done by the Jewish students is done in Hebrew.
Right.
So that's where my 16 years in the country pays off a bit in terms of trying to help them. So
Right.
I work there, but they allow me time to come. I told them that digging was a priority here.
Right.
We need to finish this project.
Right.
So.
Fantastic. Steve, there's so many things we'd like to talk about, but the live stream we need to finish pretty soon.
Sure.
I think what the embarrassing thing is to say to you and all, to just say that you're the one who identified this site as a possible Bethsaida for years. How did you get to that conclusion?
Well, first of all, already, I always have to say, already in the 19th century, this was being suggested as one of three possible sites. So,
Okay.
it wasn't first, and there were others in the 20th century as well who kept saying this is a likely site because of its location in the lake. For me,
But did they know there was archaeology here? Like, did they know?
there was no archaeology here. on the
Okay.
site.
So why are they suggesting this was a site?
I'm a historical geographer.
Okay.
Which is different from archaeology, and it's a multidisciplinary approach that takes the ancient texts, the witnesses, including the Bible, but in our period, Josephus, other writers, early rabbinic writings who describe the village, and the site identification in terms of historical geography. First is that it fits the general location that's described. The other site, I felt like it was too far away from the lake to be a fishing village. This was a more likely site. We had surface finds that indicated that there might be something possibly here. And when we...
Like, for example, now Mati just talked about the Roman pottery that we found because of the fire.
Now, when we came in 2014, did a preliminary, what they call a shovel survey, where it goes in 30 centimeters, then you sift it and you bring out the pottery, and then you analyze it. The archaeologists analyze it in terms of dating, and from that pottery, we were able to determine that there was Hellenistic, late Hellenistic, Roman, Byzantine, some early Islamic, and then Crusader presence, which fit the historical record. So that's how, again, I think the archaeology and the history work together. Moti and I have a great team. In fact, this church, no one knew this church was here, but we knew there were some Byzantine structures. And in the early seasons, we found the gold gilded glass tessera. And Moti came to me and says, these only go to an ornate church. What church is it? So I said, let me go look and find out. I started looking through the pilgrimages and found Willibald here in the 8th century talking about a basilica built over the house of Peter and Andrew. And so I said, this is the house of Willibald, or the church of Willibald. And he wrote to some others who said, no, Willibald was confused. He was saying Capernaum. He really meant Capernaum, even though he said Bethsaida. I said, but you have the evidence in your hands. You have the solid evidence. And so that's how history and archaeology sort of work together here, and we continue, and we continue to try to tease out how, when we have a historical witness to something, then we want to see how does that play out in terms of the archaeological remains. So we're again, we have the church. There's no question now that we have this Byzantine period church. But for us, the question also is what's underneath the church, which is, again, we have 2 probes already most people are familiar with the fact that we dug under the apse and found a first century house. Because I told Moti, I said the apse is the most
Sacred part.
sacred part of a church. And if this church is known as built of the house of Peter, we should be
Can
finding...
we see the mosaic for a second?
Sure. Which mosaic?
The one with the inscription.
We have this one, that's the bishop's,
Okay.
the bishop's inscription. Over here, it's covered up.
Okay, well, let's see the bishop's one then, just so the people have a last taste, because we need to wrap up the time.
Sorry,
No problem.
talking too much. That's what happens when you embarrass me.
No, this is great. So tell us about this mosaic here, please.
Yeah, this
Steve.
mosaic was found in 21 and in 2021, and it is a dedicatory inscription. It remembers a bishop.
A dedication for some...
Here it says episcopos, episcopou. Actually, it's in genitive there, but it's remembering a bishop who apparently sponsored the renovation of this church. This is probably doesn't represent the earliest stage, but one of the later stages when the church is under renovation. And bishop, we're not sure whether it's the bishop of Hippos, Tiberius, but he sponsors the rebuilding here, and his name or this is dedicates him. Unfortunately, it broke off when the Crusaders came along. They didn't really take account of what was here before, and so they broke the inscription. So we don't know his name. We don't know the date.
Stephen, thank you so much for all this information. Isn't it great to... Well, what does it feel like, you as a Christian man, to be here, probably standing right on top of the house of Peter and Andrew?
You know, it's I would say, first of all, it's a pleasant surprise, because we didn't expect all of this. But this is sort of, for me, it's a culmination of a career of trying to see how scripture and land come together. And this, I can think of few places that are better. We have a Jewish village that then becomes a Christian sacred place. And so you find the integration of peoples, of faiths in the country. Say hi, Tara.
Tara, that's the seat of the High King of Ireland. Well, we were just watching how you were brushing the stones there. Stephen, thank you very much.
Yeah, blessings. Welcome back. Thing that people should know is that it's safe to come. So
I never say that. I just say there's so many
never
people
say
here. I'm saying everybody. There's so many people here having
everybody's
such.
welcome.
No, everybody. No, there's so many people here that are having a great time and being very blessed. And there's
And there's other places.
well, I mean, we don't go there.
No, but it's nice to have. Let's just say it's nice to have volunteers back in the country.
Absolutely, and pilgrims also. We had.
That's what I'm saying, is that we went a couple years without pilgrims, without volunteers here. They're pilgrims, but they're pilgrims with a shovel.
Exactly.
All right,
Stephen, thank you so much. So people, this was an amazing morning here at Bethsaida. This is the apse here, and very probably over the house of Andrew and Peter. And we had the storm on the sea, and they were involved in that story that we're reading in the gospel today. And now you're standing at their house. Thank you for being here. God bless you. Just want to do my little selfie moment here, if it works for me. It's not responding. Oh, there we go. God bless you. See you later, alligators.